Okay, good morning. Deb, can you join us?
She must be having some mic issues. I'll check in with her at the office.
And John, have you heard from Joel Carter?
I have not. I have not heard from Joel Carter. I see Rich Hart in our attendees. He's one of our panelists, yeah?
Yeah, that's correct. He's a panelist.
I'm going to bring him on over here.
Good morning, Rich.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah, I guess you were on attendee side, so we put you over here as a panelist. Hey, there you are, Joel. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So my understanding is that Deb is going to be running the meeting for us, and so I assume she knows who our attendees are.
I believe actually John is going to run the meeting, but he's just running it from home. Is that correct?
I'll help out with this first portion, but Deb's going to be available to kind of take notes and help out with ACC things. I'll check in with her to see if I can get her mic working.
Okay, and John, can you tell us who's in attendance today?
We have Chad from Rubicon.
Okay.
And then Rebecca Coleman.
Do you know which project?
I'm not sure for Rebecca. We can bring her over real quick and we can check with her.
And those are the only two attendees?
Only two attendees.
Okay. All right, very good. Oh. I appreciate that.
Rebecca's put in the chat that she's just here to observe.
That she what?
She's just here to observe.
Oh, just to observe. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Then let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. We already did that at 9 a.m. So now it's 9:03. Let's go to item number 1. It's approval of the June 2nd, 2022 meeting agenda.
Move to approve.
Okay, and I'll second that, and that's will be unanimous. Okay, item number 2 is approval of the May 5th, 2022 meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
That was Rich?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's approved. Okay, first thing I would like to do is obviously handle Joel's stuff. Since Joel's here in attendance, and we have Chad with Rubicon in attendance as well.
One other addition to our attendees, John Gordon's here now.
John, and do you know what project he's here for?
I do not. Joel, do you?
Joel, no. Yeah, Joel must have stepped away.
Yeah, John, sorry, I was trying to help Deb with her microphone. John Gordon, he's here for 2 things: 7 Little Palomino, which is a new construction, and 307 Sun Valley Drive, which is a reapproval.
Okay, he's for both of them, Little Palomino and Sudden Valley. Yeah, I didn't know you were at the office, Joel. Sorry about that. Sudden Valley. Okay. All right, Joel, I'll let you. Well, what we can do, I guess, we can go through the reapproval. So we have several new construction projects that have already been approved, and they're just back for reapproval, meaning that they ran out of time, could not start the project on time, and we have a 90-day, window for that start to happen. And so they have to get the project reapproved. So hopefully it'll be a slam dunk. Hopefully there'll be no changes, and I'll let Joel talk us through those just to make sure we have no changes. But we have like item number 6, item 10, 15, 17, 18, and 20. So there's a few of them to go through. But like I said, it should be fairly quick and painless. And I'll let Joel get us started on that if he is available to hear. I know he's trying to help Deb with her. Okay, you're there, Joel?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'll let you go ahead and let you take on your if you want to do the reapprovals first real quick, we can do that.
Sure. So we can start with, you can choose whichever item you want to jump to.
Well, we'll go to the first one I have is 17. Is that correct? I have item number 6, 17 Inlet Circle.
Mm-hmm. So 17 Inlet, that is, so one of the things that with these extension reapproval requests, it's a 1-page form that has both, I guess it's used for both extensions and reapprovals. So builders get a 1-year time frame to complete construction once from their start date. They get one free approval, or sorry, one free extension. So when they come up to that 1-year time limit, they ask Sun Valley for an extension on their project, on their new construction, and Sun Valley takes a look at whatever the county has extended their date to, and typically that date is matched. So 17 Inlet Circle is an extension. It's been started. It's not necessarily a reapproval project. They've got their foundation in place already. That happened, I think, last year.
Yeah.
So they're asking for a time extension.
Yep, I would move to approve myself. I don't know if there's any discussion on it. If you guys want to talk about it, have any questions?
I'll second it.
And this was just, let's see, I'm just reading it. Wants to bring it back in good current. So we're extending it until 10/10/22.
And this wasn't expired. This has expired. So yeah, they're asking for an extension.
That is correct, Rich. Yeah, up to 10/10/22.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that too. Yeah, and it's already been seconded. So
Joe Jean, you have any comments on that?
No, I agree.
Okay, that approves unanimously. And that was item number 6. And the next one I had, Joel, and correct me if I'm wrong, was item number 10, 14 Sparrow Court.
Yep. So this is a reapproval request.
Yeah, let me grab that paperwork real quick because we're jumping here.
And one of the things I was unaware of is I didn't know that there was a reapproval request form to go along with these projects. So it's something that the builder would fill out and attach with, looks similar to this page, a variance request form. And unfortunately, I didn't know they existed because it's some of the first reapprovals we've done.
Yeah.
So those pages are missing, unfortunately, but nothing I believe on these plans have changed.
Everything is in fact the same. Is that correct?
That's correct.
One thing,
So do these count as extensions? Because it says it was approved in 2019, delayed in 2020, new approval in 2021.
Mhm.
So
It would be another reapproval because they did not break ground.
they never started. Okay.
Yeah, and this was one that I believe when it was first approved in 2019,
yes.
they have, when it gets approved, they have 90 days to start construction, break ground before they need that reapproval. And then it was reapproved in 2020, 2019, they got delayed because of COVID things. They couldn't get things together in 2020 again. So now they're waiting to break ground again.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have any problem with it. Did we move to approve yet, or I didn't hear?
We have not.
I would move to approve the reapproval then. If there's no other discussion.
Okay, I'll second that. Let me just make a note real quick. Hope Deb can hear us, but make sure she's keeping notes. So that was Rich for approval, Keith for a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Joe Jean, did you have any issues with the reapproval for 14 Sparrow Court?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's unanimous. That's been approved. Okay, again, Joel, correct me if I'm wrong. The next one I have is item number 15 for 4 Twin Flower Circle.
For an extension and reapproval, yes. So this is another reapproval.
And that one is not broken ground.
That's correct.
Just pull up the paperwork real quick. Let's see, we're not on 4. Okay.
And Joel, did you get the updates? Because it said that you didn't have the grade elevations at each wall.
Oh, let's see. These were the. Is that in my report here? Let me take a look.
Yeah, it says location of lighting and grade elevations at each wall. I'm actually surprised that the colors got approved. White house with tricorn black trim.
So when we're doing our reapprovals too, I assume they'll reapprove with the same comments as before.
Yep.
And if I am looking at let's see here.
So
This is for Ford Twin, is that correct?
Yes, 14 hour.
Yeah, so we're showing the Attitude Gray as the body color of the house.
Yeah, that's because we put the comment in there, but if you look down on the builder sheet, it has alabaster as the body color and tricorn black was the trim color. But we added, it looks like the comment was added, is what Joel was saying. That was part of the approval, was that they approved Attitude Gray and alabaster.
Yeah, so it looked like we had a problem with the original colors, and then we wanted it changed, and looks like he changed the color to the Attitude Gray and the trim. Is that correct, Joel?
I believe so. I'm looking for the updated spec sheet. Yeah. So originally, when this was posted up for the ACC to review, one of their preliminary comments prior to the meeting was that no to alabaster of body color. Please choose a darker, more muted color compatible with the wood surroundings. And so I think he came back with those alabaster or those updated colors.
So then our comment then, assuming that we would move to approve or reapprove, would be that pending those colors, we want to verify that those are the colors. They're not going back with the alabaster and black.
Reapprove with the same comments. Yeah.
Yep.
And I reached out to him again before this meeting, and he said he would go with those same colors.
Okay.
So I was going to use the same selection for my house so I can get approval faster. As for the elevations, we didn't receive an updated elevations page. I think that was a comment that before he can start construction, he needs to show us that.
And that was Rich brought that up as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the. And then the other thing, I like the outdoor lighting that is attached here. That sort of more industrial kind of downlight. But I just didn't see where those are going to end up on the house. And that was the other thing that was marked, was the lighting locations. I mean, I would assume that a light of that size would probably be in the center of the garage and maybe another one over the doorway, but I hate to assume that.
I can confirm that with the builder.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a fan of the lights. I just wanted to make sure he doesn't put 6 of them out there instead of just 2 or 3.
Yeah, not down the sides of his house. I agree. That's a good point.
I could ask him for that change, and we could put it on a 1-page construction change request, just showing how many and where they're going.
Yeah, that works. That works for me.
Okay.
So we're looking still for the elevations, lighting locations, and verifying paint colors.
Okay.
Those would be our 3 comments.
And Deb is in the room here with me. I don't think she's having some technical difficulties at her desk. So if you have any questions for Deb, she's taking notes.
Okay, great, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to make sure she can hear everything, so we get our, any other comments, concerns, questions for
No,
4
Nope.
Twin Flower? Okay, can I get a motion?
I'll move to approve with the comments.
Okay,
second,
that's Rich and Joe Jean for a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, Justin left us, didn't he? Okay, all right, that's unanimous. Okay, we're going to jump down to item number 17, which is 18 Western Lane. Is that correct? Yeah, 18 Western Lane. It's a reapproval.
I'll just share my screen here if anyone wants to see any details. So yeah, we've got on this one. So this is one of the, in my opinion, one of the better submittals last year that checked all the boxes the first try. They do have some wetlands on site. So this one they got ACC approval again last year, and they were waiting on their critical areas assessment and approval from the county. And they're waiting to start. They didn't get approval for that by the end of the build window. So we have another reapproval here.
Have they got their wetland mitigation done now?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
They are, I believe, ready to go. Whoops. I think they might just be waiting on their building permit to issue, but that's something that we'll look at when we confirmed during our pre-construction meeting.
Who's the builder on this one, Joel?
This is
Gabriel Paul.
I'm not familiar. Okay.
That's what it says on the spec sheet.
I just like, I like your comment. That's the best plans you've seen all year. That's nice. We use that for a reference.
you know, they
No.
read the ACC policies and did everything
So that's what they would.
almost perfectly. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Glad to hear that. Any other questions or comments, discussion on this project?
Oh, it looks good. There was just something about trees at the, oh no, wait, that's the previous item. Never mind. I'll move to approve.
Okay, I'll second. Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. That was Rich. Okay, that's item number 17. Let's move to item number 18, 24 Granite Circle. There's a reapproval. Now, a question I have on this, I know it's a reapproval, is that lighting again. So it's very similar lighting, but the bulbs are exposed.
Mhm.
And then we typically require frosted or a
Yeah.
cover.
I know this. I remember this. I think coming up for some discussion last year too, and there was some talk about it depends on how the location of that light, right? If your house
I would agree
Yeah.
with that.
up on a hill and you're looking down from the street,
Yeah.
it might matter.
Well, and I think the intent of the policy too is to diffuse light that is broadcast over a wide area so that it's not shining to the street. And these particular lights, that's a deflector that directs the light downward in a cone pattern. So even though there'll be some bleed outside of the cone, it would have to be a very, very, very bright light for it to like shine out to the street, you know, like a spotlight would.
Yeah, I would be more concerned about shining on neighboring homes than I would like the street too much. But again, I didn't locations. I don't recall seeing the locations.
Yeah, as long as they're mounted appropriately, it shouldn't be a big effect. I have similar lights that are more industrial theme that have a cover over the glass, but the deflector pushes the light down quite a bit.
Okay.
I'm just looking. It looks like there's a mark on just above the garage. There's like a little square. Is that supposed to be where the lighting is being mounted? And then above the
Oh, yes. Yeah.
the side
The
door.
single. Those are the lighting locations there.
Yeah. And I see one above the back door too. So I mean that looks pretty good to me. Just the two. And it's right above the garage. So what's the height of a garage? 12 or 8 feet, 9 feet, something like that.
Wait, 9.
Yeah.
8 or 9.
Any other comments or concerns?
Did you get the retaining wall sorted out? Do they want it to be rock or Allen block? What do they want?
Let's see here. That was the question. I believe he was going to go with rock.
Boy, everyone's loving that dark trim too. Black magic, huh? It's a dark trim.
It's very popular right now. Yeah, a lot of submittals last year, black and white.
I'll tell you, I will say, at least in the valley, a darker trim is nice just from the amount of pollen
Yeah.
and mold and stuff that you see on the lighter
algae.
colors.
Your nice
Yeah.
algae buildup.
I'd have to probably go back and take. I could either reach out to the builder and ask him what he's deciding on, rock or Allen blocks. Typically,
Okay.
both of them are. And we could do like a 1-page construction change request just to update that if we'd like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at your review. It shows all the stuff that was added, and you'll get the elevations. I'm not worried as much about that. It's a lot of house. How many square feet is this house? Did I see that?
Let's see. I've got it as 2,084 square feet of living space.
Okay. It's really tall there in the back though, but I guess it drops off quite a bit.
Huge.
Well, I'll move to approve with our comments.
And were your comments to verify the retaining wall?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing to me is we don't have the exact retaining wall spec. We have a sample, and then it says they were going to use Allen block. So
is this the retaining wall in the back?
Yeah,
they've got a detail of a Allen block wall. And
Yeah.
I'll confirm that with him.
Okay, all in favor of approval with comments?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Okay, next one is item number 20. That's 307 Sudden Valley Drive, extension and reapproval.
And so, yeah, this is another reapproval. This is John Gordon's here for this one. Again, this was another one reapproved last year, and maybe John can speak more to it, but I believe it was pending the I think they're waiting on building permit to be issued.
I can go ahead and bring John over if you'd like me to.
Yes, please. Thank you, John.
There you go, John.
Hello,
Hey, good morning, Mr. Gordon.
how are you guys?
Good. How are you today?
Just fine.
Okay, what can you tell us about this project? Did you have other concerns other than asking for the reapproval?
No, there is a tree. Sergey told me about a tree that he thinks he marked in blue that he wants to take out. It's near where the driveway is. He thinks that it's going to be compromised when they dig through the berm to put in the driveway.
Is it that one up front, John?
Right.
I'm not sure. I
No,
don't.
oh, you're not.
I didn't get out to see which one it is. But yeah, I'm guessing it's in the right of way, but
The one up front closest to the street.
that's my guess.
I just gotta get in the files.
Oh yeah. You can
How big is it?
Again, I didn't get out there. He just told me about it a day or so ago.
I can see.
Well,
Yeah,
if it,
I haven't seen it either. It's news to it's a new
Oh.
thing to me.
It must be
Yeah,
the
if
one closest to the driveway, huh? Right? That's John, Joel, can you circle that, the one that 20-inch that's close to the driveway? So we kind of get an idea. Yeah, that one there. That's the one I'm thinking it was.
Based on his description, I would agree with you, but I can't be certain.
Take a look at the tree canopy plan and see.
He did say that the roots were high, so that he thinks it's not going to survive anyway. It's unhealthy.
So it may be one of these two.
Yeah, it would have to be one of the other ones because he's already showing that one gone.
yeah, I don't think either of those is going to end up in the right of way.
Yeah.
Those both are far enough back.
Well, this one is in the
Right away. Yeah.
right of way.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, assuming the house is 20 foot back.
Well,
Well,
I'm okay with them removing it. I don't want it to be Sudden Valley's fee, but I think
Yeah.
if it's in the right of way, he needs approval from the maintenance manager.
Yeah, and since we especially don't know which tree it is, so and we can only guess since it's interfering with the driveway. Yeah, I would have to be the big one, the 30-inch. I would think. But again, we don't know. So I guess that'll have to be deferred until we know exactly which tree he's talking about.
Is it okay?
Yeah, is that just a standard width driveway? Is that like a 20-foot wide driveway?
Yeah, it would be.
Okay.
I submit that it could be resolved at pre-construction time.
Registration. is the only thing that allows you to add members.
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead, Rich.
well, Well, as I say, well, all I have in front of me is the reapproval request. I don't have anything else. I'm looking at the plans on the screen here. I don't know what comments we made previously, so I would just say, I think we could approve the extension request or reapprove it with comment that the tree request needs to be sorted out. And if it's in the right of way, it needs to go to staff. If it's not in the right of way, then he needs to submit the correct permits for that particular tree.
Yep, I agree. And also the, yeah, and in permitting, he would need permit and so forth. He's gonna be removing the other tree, so I'm not sure he wants to do it all at once, so maybe he could do it quickly, decide which tree it is. And I agree with Rich on that, absolutely. If it's in the right of way, then that would go to Sudden Valley Maintenance, and Joel, you can handle that, or you could shoot it back to me, whatever you want to do. We'll get it over to maintenance to look at.
Deb says she'll handle it.
What's that?
Oh yeah, Deb's here. She says she'll shoot it over to maintenance.
Perfect.
Um,
Yeah, and if it's another tree or a different tree and it's actually on the property, then he would have to, go through the ACC again.
he's gonna need county permit too,
That's correct.
so, that hasn't started yet.
So yeah, so I would move to approve the reapproval with those comments about the additional tree.
Second.
Okay, that's Rich and Joe Jean. Any other Oh, we're the only three. That's right. Okay, I would approve as well with those comments.
Perfect.
And that's 307. Okay. And then John, you're also here. Was it for 7 Palomino?
Yes.
Okay, if we can, let's skip up to item number 16, 7 Little Palomino, and this Palomino Court, and that is a new construction. So hang on, the last one was the motion was approved, moved forward by Rich, correct?
Yep.
Okay, and second by Joe Jean. Okay. All right, so yeah, we moved on up to item number 16 now, 7 Little Palomino Court.
Oh yeah, this is that super steep lot. All right. Went and saw this.
Yeah, drops off in the back quite a bit.
Found out.
A little bit of a berm right by the road.
I'm still digging for paperwork, guys, so.
Yeah.
All right, and then what was there was just comments about.
Is this the one you wanted to extend the driveway 22 feet
36
wide?
inch cedar.
No, that's 12 Sunflower. So the only comments I have on this one, some minor stuff. The site plan only includes trees to remain. It doesn't mark which ones are gonna go. Designer did not want to quote clutter up the site plan. Tree species are indicated on the survey, right? So they're supposed to be on the site plan. And the tree canopy plan indicates trees to be removed. There was some concern about root damage to the 36-inch cedar at the north rear corner of the house. And also some
The rear corner.
Can you, Joel, can you put that up on screen so we could see it?
Yeah.
Where we know we're all looking at the same. So he's still, those comments would still exist then. We still have issues with concerns. That wouldn't change. We're just reapproving the construction. And then if there are tree issues.
This is a new construction.
This is a new. Yeah, this is a whole new. This is not reapproved.
Oh, that's correct. I'm sorry. You're absolutely correct.
Right. So this is a new one.
Yep, my bad.
Yeah, I could see why you would have issues with that 36-inch cedar. That's a big tree.
Mm-hmm. So down here in the bottom left, this guy, pretty big, close to the foundation.
And
the storm drain's running right through it.
And then, this is between the proposed house and the storm drain. So, you'd be cutting through probably 3 sides of the roots.
Yeah.
And then I believe the other comment I had was about just some concerns. Also because about a 30-inch cedar and 24 foot at the front of the house near the stormwater system.
Yeah.
On the truss. So these two right here that are, on this tree canopy plan, they're proposed to remain. I think John Gordon also brought up that at least these two, they were thinking about relocating their stormwater. Is that right,
Their
John?
LPG tank.
Propane tank.
I think they moved it to the other side of the driveway.
Yeah, there was a couple, and I think there was just an inconsistency between the location of the propane tank on a site plan and the landscaping plan. So propane tanks, as long as they're buried, it's okay to be in front of the house. So it's indicated as buried here on the site plan, but then on the landscaping plan, it's not shown. It's not shown where it's going to go. And maybe it's just because my assumption is that the designer is just looking for where the landscape's going to go. So he's left everything out except for the footprint of the house and where the planting is. Where the planting are. Where the vegetation to be planted is going to be located.
Yeah, and I would say he needs to indicate too, if they're going to take out that big of a cedar, that there need to be some additional cedar trees planted back. Not just those tiny little trees. That's a big boy.
This will have to go also to the county.
Yeah.
There'll be, I'm sure there'll be an imposition of replanting by them that would be followed. But
so typically when the county, my conversations with the county, when they update the tree canopy plan and propose more trees to be removed, that can change. They may change some of their stormwater design, and it needs to go through that whole process. Needs to go through county reapproval.
So one thing, I see the deck that comes out off the back of the house, but when I'm looking at the overview, I don't see a deck drawn in there to kind of indicate how close that's going to come to trees and other things off the back
on the site plan here.
Yeah. So is it your standard 10 by 15 deck, or how big is that deck?
Let's see. I've got it measured as about 7 by 14.
7 by 14. Okay. Sure you don't want to go bigger, John?
I'm not going to speak for Sergey on that one.
It's probably there's with a 1 foot overhang, so it's probably 7 feet from the overhang.
Well, aside from a lot of stuff missing, I mean, I don't necessarily have a problem with the house. The house looks nice. Everything else, is well within policy. Although typically, at least, and correct me if this has changed, we would receive this plan along with all the county permits so that a lot of this stuff is worked out before we're even looking at it. But I think if we were to approve this, I think the biggest caveat to that approval would be that it meets all the county permit requirements, and then would also need to meet any of our additional notes or comments.
Okay, so
Yeah, part of the process here is when builders submit their plans, it's not a requirement for them to have all the county approve on things, So we go through we have a little checklist that we go through the office to make sure, you know, your application is complete. And then we go through this, a larger checklist. And it's only after ACC approval, we sit down and we do our pre-construction, our compliance review meeting. And that's when we verify county permits at that time. So it's pretty common for builders to submit things to Sun Valley, you know, and they're still pending their county permits. And I think this one happened too a few weeks back with 6 and 8 Palomino. No, sorry, 6 and 8 Sandalwood. They had a couple of trees in the back that they were still waiting on county approval to remove. They went back to them, and I think county said you can remove one of them, but you can't remove these two. So
Yeah.
and that'd be
Well, yeah, my only concern is if the county comes back and says, okay, yeah, you can remove that 36-inch cedar, but you can't remove the other two, then there's going to have to be some plan changes as far as how your stormwater works. I mean, you obviously can't do a stormwater underneath a tree. And so would that just come back for reapproval when those design changes happen? If those happen?
Yeah, if there's significant design, if there's design changes, we can submit it as a construction change request, assuming it's got approval. But if I think if you make approval pending, you know, pending the tree removals with the county says no, you can't remove those trees, then it may have to go back on as a
Yeah, and that would really be like on them. I mean, if the storm drain, to me, should be moved anyways. And maybe once they start, they'll realize that too. Oh, we need to move it. I'm not sure why it's going on that angle like that, obviously for some tie-in connection. But yeah, I'd prefer to keep those 2 trees up front. And I don't see the need to actually remove them right now. But again, like I said, once you're on site and actually start doing excavation, you know, things change and they'll be able to see that. And I like to give them some leeway to be able to, you know, move things a few feet one way or another with not having to come back to us, especially for that it's underground. But yeah, I'm in agreement that we need to keep an eye on that. And Joel, that would be, you know, your thing when you're out doing your pre-inspections and so forth, that you would be watching that. I do want to make sure that the propane tank is buried, so we need to have that as a comment, I believe.
They never.
Also, county approval, mandatory, obviously, as that should be going on pretty much everything we do. Even on our trees, we allow a tree to be removed. It should always automatically say pending county permits. The same with new construction or any type. That should be a standard issue thing. And then the only other comment I had was I do have issue with the 2 trees up front coming out. Don't really see the need for that right now, but like I said, things change, and when you're actually building it, maybe they'll find out they don't need to come out, or, you know, they do. And then the county will require, I think it's 3-to-1 currently on the replant. You take one out, you're going to put 3 back. Was there any other comments, questions?
Nope.
And what was our pre-approved color? Okay, that was good. Garage door is going to be white. Any other issues, guys?
No,
Okay, can we get a motion?
I would move to approve with all the comments that we mentioned.
I'll second.
Okay, that's Rich and Joe Jean. And this one is 7.
Actually, guys, I do have a question. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
And so on these extension reapproval, and you're talking about trees, should a tree removal request accompany these? Or are they inclusive?
Well, this is new construction. This is not a reapproval.
Okay,
This particular project, but if they haven't broken ground and they haven't cut any trees down and we're reapproving their construction request,
Yeah,
all the tree removal should be included with that new construction request.
you mean,
It would only be, the only time they would need to submit a separate tree removal request
yeah,
would be if they'd broken ground, they've already removed trees, and they're coming back and saying, oops, we removed 8 trees already as part of our construction request, and we need to remove these 2 additional trees. Then they would need to do a tree removal request.
okay, thank you.
Okay, so that was a Rich, so that's a unanimous approval with comments. So make sure we get the comments in there. Want to make sure the propane tank is buried. Want to make sure the well, what was the other comment? The issues with the trees up front. If they decide they need to remove those 2 trees, they will need to approach us for that. And then, of course, pending county approval. We approve pending county approval. So upon county approval. So all permits and county issued.
Also the 36-inch cedar in the rear of the back side of that.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, right now,
think-
my sense, I'll discuss this with Sergey, but my sense is that we'll apply for that 36-inch only. But we'll talk about those 2 in the front and discuss
Joel, can you
whether-
bring that up? Yeah, thanks. And show us.
whether that
36
outlet
inches.
can be moved a little bit.
It's right on top of that foundation. It's got to be within a couple feet. There's no way you can
Yeah,
excavate for that foundation and not hit those roots.
Yeah, that's the 2 in the front that Keith was saying it'd be nice to keep if possible, and maybe we can move the storm drain outlet a little more perpendicular
mhm.
to avoid getting close at all to those 2 trees. But I'll discuss that with Sergey. And if he thinks that they might have to come out, we'll put that as part of the same application to the county.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, that's unanimously approved with comments. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
I intend to. Thank you.
Just for you.
Thanks, John. I'll go ahead and return you to the attendees here.
Okay, Joel, was that it on your end, or did we have something I missed?
We got 2 more. We got 12 Green Hill Road, which was deferred on the last one with comments about paint colors. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 12 Sunflower. Is that what the one you just said?
That's 12 Green. 12 Sunflowers, a new construction, and we do have Chad from Rubicon in attendance here.
Item 14.
Item 14.
Item 14.
No,
I'm
no, sorry.
sorry.
Item 11 is 12.
Okay, item number 14, 12 Green Hill Road.
I can bring Chad over at this time.
Was this one of the ones where the houses looked identical?
Yes, and I can show
Okay.
you side by side here. I think I thought I included both of them in the packet.
Yeah.
So you can compare them.
Yeah, I see.
And I've brought Chad from Rubicon into the meeting at this point.
Oh, he's here for 12 Sunflower.
Oh, wrong
we're
one.
doing 12 Green Hill.
Gotcha.
Kick him out.
We'll be right back, Chad.
Okay, so
So here was 12 as originally planned.
this is
And it
our
looked,
our
I
track
think-
homes.
yeah, it looked almost exactly like Green Hill in terms of the type of style of cladding on the outside.
Yeah.
And let's see. So I'll go back and forth between 12, the old 12 and the new 12.
So let's see, the front door changed, the garage doors changed, the siding changed.
Well, they're the exact same elevation.
Well, yeah, and the original submittal, so was it 12 and 14 are the two houses that
12
are
and,
being built?
12 and
So
10.
they're, 12 and 10, yeah.
So
So the submittal last week, or yeah, I think it was whenever we did that last meeting. These two houses have the exact same roof lines, the exact same. The only difference I really noted, at least on my paperwork last time, was the addition of a second garage door. But other than that, the houses were identical. And so they're still going to look very, very similar, but this at least breaks up the front of the homes to make them look somewhat different. It's a really tough one just with these modern roof lines and the style of home to make them look different from each other. It's this one I've really I was really looking forward to see what differences there were going to be. Let's just put it that way.
on the left,
I
here,
can.
we have 10 Green Hill as approved, and then on the right we have 12. So you can see side by side how they'll look.
Yeah, there you go.
We also have new paint colors chosen.
I saw that. Yeah. I can't believe they would go with gray. Weird.
You can't believe what?
Can't believe they'd go with gray. I mean, I'd like, my comment would just be, I appreciate that they put some effort into differentiating the two. I'm not opposed. Like, again, I like the modern style. But I would leave it up to the rest of the committee just to make a decision, because these are going to be right next to each other and they're identical with the exception of the finish changes. They're pretty, even with the changes, they still look so similar. I mean, I would love to see, maybe a roof line change somewhere. I understand why you would want to use the same plan. It's probably easier to just take your entire order and double it.
Yeah. Yeah, these are right next door to each other.
Mm-hmm. And I can tell, I mean, I know we've allowed this, and I mean, we take every property on its own merits, but I know that in other spots we've approved homes that look similar where they've changed a lot of the finishes and stuff, but the roof lines are not just so identical as they are in this particular case. What do you think, Joe Jean?
Last time we looked at these, I was opposed to houses looking so similar next to each other. And I still have that comment, but I don't know. I mean, they're trying to change on stuff.
Joel, how different are the colors, the two colors? Yeah, the problem is, like you said, the roof line, the footprint of the building is a problem, but.
So on 10, we've got grays here. And then on 12, what is it?
More grays.
I don't think this is the right one, is it? No. Those
It's
are the
Same colors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, that's the old one. How did I thought I had a digital copy in here somewhere.
Are Are they having the same lights also?
Yeah,
I mean,
I believe so.
maybe they should change the color and the lights.
That's what I'm asking. Like right now, I think we validated every turn, but maybe we don't. That's my question. So if we validate the address once, is there any way to mark that we that address is validated?
Hang on here, that's not right. Why am I missing the? Okay, you have updated paint
Right.
colors in your packet
I just have the gray.
for 12.
What's
Are
on
they
mine?
are they the same,
That's
are they the same as these for 10?
Summit gray, cyberspace,
So we do mark
and
that subcolor.
some other.
This
Yeah, knitting needles. Yeah, or
Yeah, so we got.
something.
Let me dig into my email real quick here because I think he.
Yeah, so currently 10 and 12 would be the identical same colors.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had a different.
I remember him talking about different colors in the meeting.
So then, if that's the case, and he's, obviously, we're gonna have, you gotta do something different. I'm like with Rich on it, my problem is, and what I don't know is the elevations and the lots next to each other.
They're really similar.
They are,
Yeah.
that makes it even harder.
Yeah, it'd be, I think I could even wrap my head around it if one was like,
Yeah.
6,
yeah,
8
that's
feet lower
exactly.
than the other.
Yeah, then
but-
that would be, how about tree separation, Joel? What's it look like with the site plans with the two of them?
Right next to each other? Okay. Let me take a look.
So 10, 12.
Yeah, they're going to be bordering on, I think this one's got a 5-foot setback. No trees between the house and the property line. This is 10 Green Hill, so this is south. The next one, 12, is up here at 70, at the lot 77.
Can you show us that?
Yeah, hopping over there.
And then, so guys, you approved 10 at the last meeting then, is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
So 10 was approved, 12 was deferred because this problem, they're identical houses right next to each other.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And this one has about, this is dimension 5 here, but it's probably about 8 to the lot line.
Can you put that site plan up so we can see it?
Oh, are you not? Am I not? Oh, I'm sorry. Thought I was sharing my screen. So here's our site plan for 12. We have about an 8-foot setback from the lot line. Lot 76 down here. This is 10 Green Hill next door. It has I'll hop over here. It has a 5-foot setback to the lot line.
And they were both of them are 20 feet off the street.
So they're about 13 feet apart, side by side.
Oh, and then 23 feet off the street roughly. Looks like 22 and a half feet, both of them. Wow, wow.
Oh, here they are. No, these are old. What's going on?
All right, so what's going on with the lot lines and the building line?
I can keep going.
The building appears to be going over the lot line. What am I looking at different here? On the top, look.
Oh,
at
no,
the
no,
top,
I'm
north.
sorry. Yeah, it's 5 feet off of the lot line. This down here is just a dimension. So this line here in green, this is just a dimension.
Yeah, look at the top of the page. Go north.
And to create an account.
Yeah, this white, yeah, yellow line is the lot line, so it's 5 feet away. So it'd be about 10 feet separation between the two. It is a double lot.
Okay, there we go. So it's a double lot and he's using part of the other lot for the corner of his house up there. Like lot 78, you see the front of his house. He's going over that lot line. Yeah, right there. Is it? Oh, I'm looking at something different. Okay. No, what am I looking at? Yeah, those are
No,
the
you're-
property corners.
Yeah, you're seeing it.
Yeah.
But he owns both those lots. That's what I understood.
And that other lot is non-buildable? It's a combined irrevocable,
That's
These are combined double lot.
they are,
Yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
okay. Well,
I missed that. Like,
hey, Joe Jean, you have anything to say on this?
I would hope they change the paint color so, they don't have the same color. And the same with the lights. I mean, every little thing that they can change would help make them different looking from the street.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I know the paint was a comment on the last one. I communicated that to the builder, and I thought he got back to me with some new paint colors, or at least chosen some. So I'm reaching out to him to see if he'll give an update here.
Oh, but still, we have the problem. The view is really from the street is the problem. You're gonna see two identical houses. Well, I guess the one's a 3-car garage now and the other one's a 2-car. How'd the width of the driveway vary at all? Driveways change or
Driveway is 20 feet at the.
on both?
Pretty wide.
Rich, any further comment? I mean, it's kind of a tough one.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at, I broke out my map and I'm just trying to understand where the lots are. And so if I remember, this is a double lot. So which side is 10 on? Is it on the side closest to the house or is it like the big double lot and then 10? That's what I was trying to look up here on my map.
I think it's a lot below or down, so I think it's gonna be right next to the house.
All right, so I just got this email from the builder about paint colors. I'd like to go with pure white. Sherman-Williams 7005
Pure white.
for the body color and cyberspace for the roof accent, entry, and garage.
So white and black?
White is a white and gray.
Cyberspace is, I guess you calling that gray?
Where the
So cyberspace, that's the approved gray. Pure white, is it on here as a
I guess it is gray.
approved color? I believe these whites are intended to be a trim color.
Trims, that's correct. Those are trim colors.
Okay, so as I look at it, this is lot 77, right?
Yeah,
Division 10,
77.
lot 77. So then the other one is in lot 76, right?
That's correct.
Yes.
So my question would be, since the houses are so similar, is it possible, and this might not be because of the topography, is it possible to switch the sides of the lot that the house is going on? So right now the houses are basically going to be 10 feet apart. If you took the house and put it on the, I guess technically that would be the north side of the lot, kind of swapped it where it was at to add some space in between the two.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you have some trees to break it up.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
because basically the only thing that's happening on the north part of the lot is he's burying a propane tank, which I love that he has a great big lot to spread out and do some stuff. But since the houses are so similar, if there was a bigger division between the two, I would be much more apt to say yeah.
Yeah, buffer zone. Put a buffer
'Cause that's
zone
a-
between them.
Yeah, that lot's huge. 77 is. And let's see.
Well, I know when I fill out,
I'm looking. Oh yeah, and so is 79 still vacant as well? Do we know? I don't remember.
I believe 79 has a home on it.
Okay, yeah, just pull this map. I don't know when this map was printed for me, but
It may be, maybe you're right. Maybe 79 is vacant. It's the next lot that has a home on it. There is a home
80.
down the street.
Yeah,
right,
80 says it's developed on this map. So
I thought, last time we looked at these two houses, the ladies that lived on each side of where they're being built were, watching the, speaking at our meeting. So I think that houses were
still loud.
built
I think
on-
that was on. I think was that on Sunflower? That wasn't these two, but yes, it was two similar houses. Same situation, but the houses were significantly different and the elevations were different, and the roof lines were the same, but they weren't just straight modern roof lines, and they had changed the materials on the houses very significantly on those two houses. But I don't remember exactly where those were, but I know the one you're talking about.
Okay,
It is not these.
Well, I'll just tell you, currently the way I would be leaning toward this myself is I'm opposed to having two identical houses right next to each other. I would like to see some effort. Even with the buffer in between, it's still a hard decision, but it would make it much easier, I believe, if there was a buffer zone between the two houses. So like Rich is saying, if that house could be moved up toward the north, a little bit, just create some space. It's still from the street is the issue too. You're going to see them from the street, driving down the street. You're going to see two identical houses. So
Yeah,
that's
right on top of each other.
Yeah, that's just kind of the way I'm kind of leaning on it would be, I'd be opposed to, I would just have to stick with that. I mean,
And
I think they could change the roof line, do something there. That doesn't seem like it'd be, too terribly hard to do to break them up. You could still have a lot of the same footprint with a different roof line would even be, I think, more acceptable.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, Joel, what did you say the paint colors were? Or John? Is it Joel?
Joel, and he said,
Joel.
pure white on the body instead. So pure white's supposed to be a trim color. It's pure white for the body, and for the accent trims, he's going to go with the cyberspace, which is a dark gray. I thought it was closer to black color, but looking at Joel's screen, or I guess it's my screen, but Joel's thing, it looked darker, like a dark gray.
Here's pure white.
Pure white with black trim. Man.
Here's
And what was
here.
and what was the accent color?
Cyberspace. Oh, actually, his original accent color should be with that's spec sheet, the granite.
Granite Peak. Okay.
Here's cyberspace granite peak. So he's asking for
White.
a body color here. Yeah, let me.
Not big on
The
change.
The
It would be,
Well, that would be my suggestion. My suggestion would be that we defer this with comments going back to the builder, like, hey, look, obviously we see that you made some changes. However, the colors are super similar. The houses are right on top of each other. You've got, and I think if there was a way he could move that house north on that lot to just get some more separation. And I don't mean like move it 5 feet. In my head, I'm thinking he's got 30 feet that he could move that house. And then I would have him come back. I mean, that's my thoughts on it.
I concur with those thoughts. I agree with that. And the topography looked similar, so I'm not sure how hard it would be to move. I mean, it looked pretty straight all the way across,
Yeah, I can't quite read the numbers on my copy here. I keep zooming in, but it's PDFs are not super conducive to that zoom level.
So then, based on what you're saying, we would deny it with those comments and ask for a resubmittal.
We're not going to refer it instead.
I would defer, not deny.
I agree.
Yeah. So I can make a motion to defer with the comments that we'd like to see the house placed differently on the lot, on the northern end of the lot versus the southern end, to separate the two homes. The colors are, again, extremely similar to the other house that he's building. And the lighting is identical, so he needs to change the lighting. And I'm also, when I see that lighting sample, is that a down up light or a down light only? Because I've seen some lights like that installed out here, and as I remember, our policy doesn't allow for uplighting.
That's correct.
Right.
And I've seen them though as well, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it depends on the model. Some of these, they look that kind of cylinder. You have to buy an additional cap and cap it on the top.
Yeah.
And so that's something that I look for during our final inspection to make sure they're not shining upward. And we have found some, and I have to let them know, hey, you guys gotta cap the top and re-inspect.
Yeah, those are my main comments.
How about any comment on the roof line?
I think if they're separated far enough apart, I'm not completely opposed to it as long as they're separated by a big enough distance.
But if he could make a change with the roof line, that would be like huge.
Yeah, I mean, even changing the roof line over the door would
Yes.
make a difference. But I realize
agree.
that changes your drip line and your gutters and.
Yeah, that's why I'd like to throw it in as a comment if we agree to that, just because if he could change the roof line, that he's already got the extra garage door, the siding has changed somewhat. If he could change that roof line, that would just be huge. And I don't think that's like a big deal, he could make the one here a little gable end in front of this front window up here, do something like that. That would change it dramatically. So I'd like to throw that option. If we're not going to deny it, then if we're going to defer it, then I'd like to at least throw that in there as an option for him to think about, that he could change the roof line. And I think that would, the roof line and the paint alone, I think would really, then he wouldn't have to move it or anything else. So we could just have that option for him.
In looking at it too, I mean, if he moves it on to a different part of the lot, he may want to explore where he has that deck that comes out off the side, and he might want that to go on the back instead of on the side if he moves it to a different location. I don't know, but I think the suggestions are a good start. I just don't see it working out in his favor. If I was to vote on it today, I would not approve it. So my motion is to defer it with all those comments.
Okay.
I'll second.
And that's Rich with the motion, Joe Jean for a second, and that is unanimous. And that's 12 Green Hill. I'm going to make a note here. That was Rich, Joe Jean.
And somewhere in there, it should mention the policy about the tract homes and homes of similar appearance. I don't remember the policy number right now, but somewhere in there, I know that that's in our policies.
Yeah. It'll be 14.6 something. Most of them are 14 something. Yeah, and if need be, well, Deb will get that in there. So.
There it is. Yeah.
It's the-
14.1.
Intent.
14.1.
So Rich, just one real quick question. How far did you say in your suggestion about moving it?
Well, it's a double lot. And so I don't have the measurements of how big the lot is,
Yeah.
but I've seen in the past where we say, oh, could you maybe separate the houses a bit more? And the builder comes back and says, oh, I moved it by 2 feet. And so when I look at a double lot, in my head, I look at this and I'm like, well, you could literally take this page and flip it upside down and switch everything 180 degrees and put the house 5 feet off the northern lot line versus the southern lot line, which is about 30 feet or so. And so that's what I would prefer to see him just basically move the house onto the other side of the property.
Okay, I'll make sure to capture that in the comments.
Yeah, and
Thank
Joel,
you.
Joel, you got a good grip on, you'll probably be talking to the guy too, right?
Oh yeah, I'm already texting with him, let him know how
Perfect.
it's going.
Yeah, so you
I asked him
understand
to
what
join.
we're saying.
Yeah, I understand what you're asking.
Yeah, and please let him know I want to approve this house. I don't have a problem with it at all. I'm trying to make sure the neighbors are happy and that Sudden Valley's happy, that we're all within some level of policy, that we're not just overriding our policies without a really good reason to do so.
Right.
Okay, and that was unanimous with those comments. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, what's the next one you had?
Item number 11.
12 Sunflower.
Yeah, and Chad is here for this one.
Now
Okay, now I'll bring Chad on over here.
I had a question. Typically, when I go out to look at these in the years past, the lot line, the footprint of the building is staked. The trees are ribboned. When I go out to look, I like to see where the footprint of the house is going to be. I did not see that at 12 Sunflower.
I was out there. No, I was out there yesterday, and it was staked in ribbon.
It was?
Yeah. You go to the right. You go to.
Did I go? I was there yesterday. I did not see it. What the
You're
heck?
on the wrong road.
Yeah, what?
I have photo evidence.
It's gate 2, right? It's right. It's
Yeah.
right off of Grandview. Yeah, I haven't been gone that long. Forgot where the roads are.
So this is Chad with Rubicon again. He's building the one next door to with 14 Sunflower that has been approved. I don't have any issues with this one right now. Let's see. We have a variance for a 22-foot wide driveway, which is 2 feet over the usual 20-foot maximum. It's for safety reasons, so they'll have an elevated driveway again with railings. Similar variance was submitted and approved for the next door one. Same reasonings. They are also requesting additional permanent parking on. We can see that on the site plan.
That's what I was about to say.
Where's the permanent parking? Is that that dark area?
Yeah, this gravel.
So that's on right away. That'd be Sudden Valley's
Correct.
approval for that.
And they want to make that permanent parking?
That's right.
Sudden Valley wants to approve it with gravel up against the road. I know that that's the biggest part of that approval process.
Yeah, not a fan of it myself, but
It just tears up the road. That's the worst part.
yeah, I didn't have a problem with the driveway expansion to 22 feet. I don't think that's a big deal for me.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the driveway either.
We have the same issue with the lights. We got to make sure they're down lights only, the lighting, not down and up. Hang on, I'm still looking at that one.
Right.
That's all right. No worries.
And I've seen a lot of these same designs that do, again, they install them, they're shining both upward and downward. We go out during the inspection, call it out, and they make the correction.
And that's
Well, you
something you check at the end when you're doing your final, you make sure they got caps on those.
Yep, that's part of the final.
You missed the one on the corner of Bramble Way and Clematis Lane.
Where's that?
Bramble Way and Clematis Lane. They have, I just noticed it the other night when I was coming home. I was like, oh my gosh, they have uplights. What? Those are, it looked really nice. Don't get me wrong.
That's probably one that was probably before my time.
Yeah.
I think I know which one you might be referring to, though.
Yeah. They had a big tree fall out of that lot before they could even cut them down. During a windstorm, fell across the street and hit the neighbor's car.
Oh, geez.
And it took them forever to get it cleaned up. I remember the stump was there for a very long time. Well, aside from the lighting, everything looks fine. Are you sure you want to go with gray for your storm cloud gray? Everybody loves gray.
The only other thing was, so similar to 14, they've got an exposed concrete retaining wall in front of the driveway. It's only going to be 3 to 4 feet tall, I believe. So the normal ACC rules call for, wood cladding or exposed aggregate. He's proposing, hey, can we just paint it? It's not going to be facing the street.
Yeah, he can paint it. I don't have a problem with that. I've seen that all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's easy for the homeowner to come in and maintain later.
So then the only other point of discussion may be the parking.
Yeah, the permanent parking, I'm not a fan, and that does need to go to Sudden Valley. But also, I want to point out that if something comes through here for permanent parking anywhere, and we're going to have one coming up here later, we can deny that request. We just don't say, "Oh, run to Sudden Valley and see if it's okay with them." That goes to them after we approve it.
So I guess my question would be, because when I look at I'm looking at the right east elevation, and I'm assuming that's the driveway I'm looking at. And it looks like it's being made into somewhat of a flat driveway. I would imagine there's some engineering and stuff going into that. How long is the driveway? It's 22 feet wide. How long is that?
We've got a dimension here, 25 feet, 8 inches.
Yeah,
From
25
property
8
line to the garage door.
Yeah, so you got a 2-car garage. You can put 2, potentially 3 cars in the driveway, depending on what kind of cars you drive. And they want additional parking on the street. So I would tend to agree that we don't need to approve the additional parking
when you go out to the site, you'll see that there is no parking anywhere near on that street for guests or even anybody. So, because it all slopes off. So by creating the retaining wall, we created a flat area to give a spot for parking for a guest that comes by. And you can only fit 2 vehicles on a driveway. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
that neighborhood is so tight with no parking at all for other people. So when guests come to other houses, they tend to park halfway on the road, halfway in. We felt
Yep.
it would be a safety, it would relieve safety issues with allowing the side, since we have to do the retaining wall to retain and hold the bridge and retain back, because it immediately at the road starts dropping dramatically off. All
Oh
over.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
there's nowhere to park anywhere in that whole street. So we were concerned with guests coming, falling, cars parking in the middle way. Come Friday, someone doesn't leave in time for the garbage trucks. You hear horns honking, get the truck. So we were just trying to be proactive to all the neighbors and come up with something that would relieve any tension or arguing or neighbors yelling at each other. You're blocking my driveway because there's nowhere to park. I've been out in the valley and seen that. I used to live in the valley, and I actually got in an argument with one of my neighbors because my truck was blocking part of his access.
Yeah.
Where do you want me to put it?
And that
I
looks
just
like
thought it would be
right,
sensible.
and
How
right
wide is
next
that
to the
parking?
lot.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was to say right next to the lot, it looks like is that a greenbelt little keyway there?
That
that
is
goes
the
back?
Sudden Valley track path to get down to the park down below.
Okay, that's what I
So you
thought.
can't park there and block that, and that actually drops off dramatically off there too.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with the parking. It's going to be Sudden Valley that has to approve it. I do like that if there's already a retaining wall there, assuming, your engineering and everything is set to hold back,
Yeah,
the
it's
weight
been
of a car.
engineered for all that with a retaining wall with the structural engineer and the bridge. And the bridge idea was a great idea because now we don't have to put in huge retaining walls and bring in 200 yards of fill to fill that up. And
Is that on like steel trusses? What is that bridge on?
3 steel I-beams go from the retaining wall to the house, and then pan decking on top of that, and then you pour 6 inches of concrete on top of it.
Okay.
So you'll be able to walk underneath it. It'll be all left native underneath. It's going to be, if you take one of the side shots, yeah, see like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let's go back and see where you want that parking. So that retaining wall that's sticking out there, that wing of the retaining wall coming off there. You're proposing to paint all that just too? That's just gonna be painted?
Yeah, and then we were going to put not the deer, the trees that deer love, the other ones they hate, and then so they can stay not eaten, and put them in front of it. So it'll help
Okay.
shield it, but it'll be painted so it also blends in.
Yeah, you'll have a vegetative screen in front of it.
That's what we had planned to do to help. And we are true. I think it's the arborvitae, the ones that the deer don't eat.
You find
There's
one. let me
ones
know
out there
what
the
they're
deer
doing.
love to eat half of it and makes it into a pointed tree.
Yeah, there is one of those. I'm not an arborist or botanist or anything else, so I can't ever remember. It doesn't matter what I plant, they eat it. So
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
the jug containing the deer repellent, they eat the jug.
That's the only reason
I
we
don't.
thought of that additional parking site, and we have it with our stormwater and everything. So I don't know if we would have to change the product, but it is all part of our stormwater plan to calculate it into the coverage, the retention for the county and everything, because they get mad when you don't put that on the plans either.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't have a problem with it. I would make a motion if we're ready for it.
I believe we are.
I would move to approve with the comment about the lighting, and
Yeah,
then
those get capped at the top because you're not allowed to shine up, and that way they give you that cylinder, nice modern look, but without the light shining in.
yeah. And then the other comment would be just approval from Sudden Valley for the parking space up top. That'd come out of from staff and the maintenance crew.
I'll second.
Hey, and Chad, you used to be on the ACC, the same Chad, correct?
No, well, I was Platinum Development at one time and
Okay. Okay.
been with Rubicon. We've been Rubicon for 7 years.
Okay. All right, so that's unanimous. It's approved with comments. And then the comments being the lighting for sure needs to be capped, and that's something Joel will check. And then Sudden Valley needs to approve your permanent parking solution there.
And will that be a maintenance?
Yes.
Yeah, they have to approve it.
Okay.
Okay, that's unanimous. And that's
Thank you.
All right.
Sunflower.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you, Chad.
All right,
Okay.
thanks, Chad.
What's next?
I don't know. You've been all over the list. I have no idea where we're at.
That's it from
That's
my
it. That's it for your new builds.
my stuff. Yeah.
Fantastic. Great. Thanks, Joel. I appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Hey, Joel, just
Yeah.
just for my own education, do you happen to know how many construction projects are currently underway?
47.
In total in Sudden Valley.
Yeah,
Like,
for like
from
new
last year and
constructions
everything?
and yeah.
Boy, let me.
And the reason I ask is because we've had several people lately making comments about overbuilding and so on and so forth, but I know there's only so many lots left to build on. So I'm trying to mentally calculate where we're at with that.
I'm trying to. I heard a number, I think last year, about how many lots were remaining, and I can't recall what it was now.
Well, in September, we had 45 new that were in construction, new construction and the process of construction, 45 homes.
Last September.
Yeah, September 20th, 2021, there was 45.
Yeah, last build.
Now, some of those Joel's finalized since then, and people moved in and stuff. So I don't have an updated list, but that was the last list I had. It was like 45. It was like all these.
I think we had 43 that were submitted and approved last summer, but not all of them began construction. Then we have others that are from the previous year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that gives me a good idea where we're at.
I'd guess maybe there's about 60 out there in total, including including.
Do you know status?
Yeah.
For I want to say it's 1 Sweet Clover. It's on the corner of Sweet Clover and Clematis Lane. I think the driveway faces Sweet Clover, so I think that's the address.
I have one for 9 Clematis Lane. That was just near finished. Is that it?
Oh, does it have a Clematis address? Even though the driveway's on Sweet Clover? Maybe. It's the only that'd be the only house on Clematis that's under construction. So
Let's pull up my map here. But yeah, you're right. The driveway does go to Sweet Clover, but that's 9 Clematis. So they've done their final inspection. There was a couple of things we went back and asked them to fix, but they've had their county final occupancy granted.
So the only question I have for us is their downspouts from all their gutters drain to a pipe that runs around the house that is green, and their house is gray. Was that something that we noticed? And
the pipe
usually those are buried.
The pipe that's above ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed that in the inspection. But I don't think I called it out because it wasn't I don't know. It's not, there's nothing in the policies that make that a requirement.
Well, I'd say usually they're buried, so
Right.
you can't see them. So that's what was weird, is that it doesn't match the color of the home. So
right.
I thought maybe if they sprayed it with paint, it would be just fine. But
I may have asked them to paint it. I'd have to go.
Okay.
I'd have to go check in my email. Yeah. So we're pending, waiting to hear back from them on some, see if they've made some corrections.
Okay. Yeah, they're super nice people. I ran
Yeah.
into them on a walk, and but I noticed that, and I thought, oh, I wonder if that's something we look at. So, okay.
Hey, Joel, I got one quick question for you too. This is going back to last year, that retaining wall. It was the like ecology retaining wall, the big blocks. It's over by the marina off a Longshore. I can't remember the darn street it was on, but the retaining wall was failing. It was leaning out forward by a few inches then. And I'm just curious. I talked to the builder at the time, and he said he was unaware of it, was going to go out and take a look at it. But I would be surprised if that thing went along any further. So what they did is backfilled it with a ton of gravel, and just from them driving up and down it, it looked like it was already leaning forward.
Oh, where is this? Which address?
They were working on that yesterday. They had a big machine, that they were taking all the dirt out from behind it.
Oh, they were. Okay.
Yeah, and I went to see one of the houses that was on Inlet Circle across the street from there, and they had the road blocked all day because of all the equipment.
That's why I turned around. So I couldn't remember the darn street. And I was like driving around over there, and the road was blocked. So I was like, oh, darn. And I turned around and left. I didn't realize that was the street I was trying to get to. Yeah, I was just curious what was happening with that. It was horrible. Whoever put the wall in, I'm sure is paying for it. But
I noticed it was slanting, like the second day it was up, because I walk around that street a lot. And I asked a person across the street if those people knew about it, and she said, yeah, everybody in the neighborhood talked about it because everyone thought it was slanting.
yeah, I got up on top. I took some pictures, and yeah, it wasn't good. All right, good. I was just curious how that was coming along. All right, Joel, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. You have anything for us that you want to talk about, or?
Do we have to do 12 and 13?
Oh yeah, we've got stuff to do.
Yeah, but that says new construction change request.
If you'd like my input, sure.
Well,
I'm happy to.
Oh, what were those ones? 12.
That was just a change from color. It says color from white to charcoal gray for their fascia board. So I don't think, unless Joel, you had something you wanted to talk to us, I think all your stuff is done, correct?
Right, all the new constructions and reapprovals are finished.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you.
See you in 2 more weeks.
All righty.
Have a good one.
Okay, guys, we're going to head up to item number 3, which is a tree removal request for 4 Lake Louise Drive.
Okay, I have a question. Are they requesting the tree be removed across the street from their property?
That is
the way I understood it?
That is correct. It's on the corner of Marigold and Lake Louise, and
yeah,
it's just kind of an odd request. I treated and look really. I mean, yeah, it's got some issues, but I don't know.
It wasn't ribboned, was it?
No.
Okay.
Well, so the question is, are they wanting to do that, or are they requesting Sudden Valley remove it? That's
the question I had too. Are they wanting to pay for? But at the end, if you look, it says, please do something with it. So it sounds like they don't want anything to do with it. They want Sudden Valley to do something with it. And the tree was ribboned, so it might be on one of their watch list already. I don't know.
They said Ken's told them to keep an eye on it. But when I was looking at that, and I was like, this isn't on their property, so I don't know.
It's really on the corner too. There's that, it's really, there's several trees there in the clusters, and it didn't look too different than the other trees.
Keith?
Yes.
Did you say that it was ribboned?
Yes, it had a faded red ribbon. So the ribbon looked like it had been on there maybe for a few years even.
Okay. I looked at it yesterday and I didn't see any ribbon. But I kind of thought all those trees in that area all look the same.
Yes, they did. So, I mean, to me, what I would suggest we do with this would just be to bring it to Sudden Valley's attention, Sudden Valley Maintenance. And
well, it looks like it's on Lake Ridge Condos property. because the lot number is 64, right?
Yeah, it could be depending
And-
on the setback. So we have, if we, I don't know what
Yeah.
our right of way is on there.
Well, according to the map, it's parcel 53 on my map. And it covers, it's all Lake Ridge condos. So either way, it would have to go to one of them. And I know the condo place usually does a pretty good job of keeping an eye on those. So I would think that we need to defer it for staff to review to figure out whose tree it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping I don't know. It seems like they've eliminated the ACC coordinator position completely. So it doesn't seem like we're going to have an ACC coordinator again.
That sounds like a deputy GM job to me.
Well, that's I actually drafted an email for him this morning and then I deleted it because I've only met him once, actually twice now. I want to go in and talk to him and just see where we're at with that, as well as compliance things. I don't know. There's no, we've been talking since last July. I have with the board and with Sonia and different people, and nothing's happened. We've had a few violations. Even Rich Bailey brought in a couple, all done properly over a year ago now, all done how it's supposed to be done. And there's been no response in over a year. So,
well, I, for one, am glad that we're buying that Sunmark property so that we can judge the colors and design of it, because there's some problems there that we're going to make Sudden Valley fix.
yeah, I don't want to get into that stuff, but yeah, so
like a boat ramp and a dock, please. I'm paying for it. Sorry. I digress. So I'm going to make a motion to defer this tree removal request.
We'll defer to Sudden Valley staff to determine whose tree that is, whether it's on Lake Ridge Condos Association property or whether that's in our right of way.
I'll second.
And a second by Joe Jean. So that's Rich, Joe Jean, and that's unanimous. So deferred with comments. Okay, next is 32 Jubilee Lane. It's a exterior alteration. It's a paint request.
Oh yeah, I had to look these up.
Actually,
I liked the trim,
but
I don't remember what I liked the trim. I don't remember what the what color that
really good.
was.
I went and looked at, so he put down here, it's over on, which I don't like when people do that, but 6-par lane, same colors. I went by 6-par lane and it's very nice looking together. It should be actually some of our approved color.
There it is.
I thought, that's me.
No, it looks good. Yeah, that's right. I looked it up.
It's a funny name though, Quagmire.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to look good. I was like, Quagmire. And then I went like, oh, that actually looks really nice. So I had no problem with it. So
I will move to approve.
Yep. I'll second that.
I
Any,
have to abstain since it's my neighbor's house. And I hate brown.
It's not too dark.
Actually, it looks really good on number 6.
it did, yeah. So Jolene, were you in favor or against?
Oh, no, I'll vote for.
Okay. All right. So that's unanimous. Let me catch up here. We did those. Okay. Item number 5, 14 Jubilee Lane.
All right. I have a question.
Okay.
So are they
Oh.
wanting to add a roof over the deck?
No, so what happened? So I ended up actually meeting with them and going out and looking at the deck. He's not putting in 2 decks. You see there, it says, that's my problem. I had a composite deck with 2 solid vinyl covered decks. And what he's doing, it's just his deck. He has a composite deck now. It's very old. It's gray. It's cracking out. And they're putting a tongue and groove plywood over it, flashing it, putting a tongue and groove plywood over it, and then waterproofing it basically with a vinyl waterproofing.
Interesting.
Yeah, and he was going to send me, he was gonna send me the link. His son is helping him do it. His son's a project manager for another company, you know, that kind of thing. And his son is the one that told him about the product because I was unfamiliar with it and I was interested in seeing what it was like. And he was gonna send me a link to it so I could look at it, but I didn't receive it as of, you know, this morning.
So it's essentially a plywood deck with a vinyl coating.
Correct. Yeah. And then putting up new railing and flashing, you know, it's basically refurbishing his deck. But instead of pulling up the composite, you know, slats that are there now and replacing them with composite, you attach the plywood over the top of it, tongue and groove plywood, and seal it all in. And
How does it drain?
over it drains. It's going to be just a water runoff. It's just going to run
Just
off.
run off?
It slopes. Yeah,
Oh.
slopes off the end of the deck.
I would think that would cause erosion for his for any piers or pilings that he has for his deck supports, but yeah,
would
I don't
tend
have
to
a problem
agree.
with it.
I know 2 houses that have that kind of deck.
Oh, you know a couple people that have that? Yeah, he said the house next to him had it, and I couldn't see it, nor did I want to, you know, just walk into their backyard. But
I don't have a problem with it. The only question I have is when you change your deck from slotted where it's permeable, does that change your impervious surface calculation on your house when you do that?
yeah, well, my understanding here, the way I understood it, is a slotted deck even here is considered impervious surface. And the underneath portion in as well, even though it's slotted. And, you know, I had that situation in actually Lake Tahoe too. So I had a home in South Lake Tahoe and the same situation. And what they did there, and we have best management practices there, they called, you know, because of watershed. And they calculated how high your deck is off the ground for how much impervious surface they have. So like our deck was like 12
Interesting.
feet, 10 feet off the ground. And so, you know, they take some calculations, they have a formula. And so my deck, even though it was huge, it only accounted for a small amount of impervious surface, or they considered it, even though it's all sandy soil up there, you know, it's like, I didn't quite understand that. And I looked at county here and they had similar things. So it really didn't, like if you have gravel down on your ground, it's still considered impervious surface.
Okay.
Yeah. So are you guys all right with that? Or did I get a motion
Yeah.
on that one?
I move to approve.
I'll second.
That's 14 Jubilee. Okay, that's Rich and Joe Jean. Okay, that moves us up to yeah, and that was the other question real quick, is that I did talk to him about it because I wanted to make sure he understood what he was getting on his deck and stuff like that. And I had the same concerns about water runoff and what that's going to do. And that's when he told me, oh, my son's a project manager. He's in construction. He's helping me do it. And my neighbor has it and they like it. And so I was like, all right, as long as you know what you're getting into, you know, I want to make sure. And he's like, no, I'm good. So I'm like, all right.
That works for me.
Okay, item number 7. Whoops, is that the one we just did? No, 14 Par Lane. And that is, oh, okay, that is. So Deb, are you still on here? Okay, one thing I wanted to comment is he put down here for his conversation with Deb is that he was going to put up a fence around his thing and paint it to color to match his house. And we don't want that kind of stuff happening. So I wanted to make sure. He said Deb told him that, and I don't know that.
He has to do like vegetative screening.
Exactly. Yeah, we want vegetative screening. So that would be my only thing for me would be approved, but no small wooden fence. It'd be a small vegetative screening around would be best is what I wrote down here.
Yeah, I'd move to approve with that comment.
So we're going to move to approve with vegetative screening.
So what he can do, just for clarification, I've seen people put up a wall, but then they put or like a fence, to block it, but then they put ferns or bushes or whatever in front of that to do the vegetative screen.
Yep, I'm in agreement with that. So Yeah, because there's nothing here to like say, is that gonna be a 5-foot high fence he's gonna put around there, a 6-foot high, you know what, it just said wooden fence and a small wooden fence. So yeah, I just prefer to say vegetative screening. If he wants to do a fence, you'd have to resubmit for that. An actual, some kind of screen, unless we want to say no more than 3-foot high and 6 foot long or something with vegetative screening, if you wanted to declare that now.
No, that's fine.
So do we want to make that statement like no 3-foot, no taller than 3-foot high, 6 foot long with vegetative screening if he uses a wooden fence?
Yeah, that comment's fine. Absolutely. That's all within our policy, so.
Okay. If wooden fence, and if no wooden fence, just vegetative screening would be fine. So we could leave it either or one or the other or both. Okay. Any opposition to that? Anyone opposed? Okay, that's approved unanimously with comments. And that puts us to item number 8, which is 84 Windward Circle.
Let's see. So they wanted to create the bigger another parking space.
A huge, yeah, and I'll just tell you where I'm leaning right now. I went and looked at it, and I'm opposed to it.
I would also be opposed, just because. So when I see something like this, and I'm not saying that that's what they're going to do, but this is big enough for 4 or 5 cars, or maybe 2 RVs or a boat, and they're putting it in a position where it's right up against a fence that they've already got, and
with a big gate there as well.
Exactly. So that makes me think that they're going to back a boat into their backyard or something to that effect. It's just a way to circumvent our policies. And I don't see the necessity for this.
Yeah, it's a major drainage ditch.
Yeah, they're basically talking about having to put in another culvert that would have to be maintained, and so I'll make the motion to disapprove.
Joe Jean, you had a comment?
Yes, I talked to the neighbor. Well, first off, that fence is on the property line. And secondly, the neighbor didn't have an issue having that parking space there. And she said that they have a lot of company and stuff. It's a big family. And that's why they wanted to make that parking area. And the one concern I had was going over the culvert. And the neighbor said that she's never seen water running in that culvert. And I said, well, it depends how it drains off the road, whether it goes in it or not. But anyways, I think that I would vote to approve it with, making sure they did the culvert correctly. But of course, it's 2 against 1, so.
Yeah, that's why we need more people on here, really. Because.
They've done a really great job of fixing that house up over the years. And it's hard for me to believe that they would do something that wouldn't be right for the neighborhood.
Yeah, but I think you could come up with different solutions for additional parking without building a 30 by 15.
Well, it could be
parking pad. I mean,
and,
I think there's,
and it's on the other side of their
options.
house is the problem I had with it too. It's not the front of their house, it's the side of your house, and then they forget about it, but that's someone else's front of their house, the neighbor. So I did have a couple issues with it just being there myself. So unfortunately, it's denied. So that was a Rich for,
Yeah. And I would say just with the denial, to explore other options for additional parking. I mean, it's also, I mean, technically it's a corner lot, so it's kind of like, you know, putting a basically building a big parking pad in front of your house. I know you said you talked to the neighbor, but that's I can just imagine if we allowed that, the 30 other people that see it are going to come in and say, oh, you allowed it here, you've got to allow us to do it. And I think that the way that particular ditch is designed is really nice right now with all the grass and stuff that probably you probably don't see the water running through it, but I bet that catches quite a bit of water.
yeah, and like you pointed out, like it was just parking, it's one thing, but that looks more like permanent parking or even access to get to the backyard. And especially with that gate there, that's why I was concerned. It's like, what are they trying to pull in the backyard? It's odd to have a gate there with no access already. So it's like they pre-planned maybe. So I was a little concerned about it myself. That, typically a drive or a parking space would run parallel with your property, not perpendicular like this is. So
And which part of the fence were you saying, Joe Jean, is on the property line? Or are you talking the part that's closest to the house where the shed and everything is?
No, I'm talking about the, right where the, where it says 30 feet.
Uh-huh.
That's the property line.
That's the property line. Okay.
Wow.
So that corner, that the fence where the gate is at, that's actually on the property line. So basically from that fence all the way to the street, that's all Sudden Valley right away is where they're wanting to construct it. So it would all,
no, it's
20 feet of it. Yeah.
The fence is, the whole fence, it's, you see where it says 30 feet on the map? Okay,
yes.
that's the property line going from the fence and that you see all the way back to
From that corner all the way. Oh, okay. So that line up against the neighbor's house there.
Yeah, well, it's right on the neighbor's. There's a property stake in back. That,
Okay.
I was looking for the property stake and the neighbor showed me where it was behind, and that whole fence is on the property line. So, I don't know where the property line is on North Point.
Yeah, that's just too much.
I don't know how much of that 30 feet is on right of way.
Yeah. I would think the corner lot, that's difficult. Well, yeah, but there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, too much, really. All right, so that one is denied. Motion by Rich, second by Keith. Joe Jean, in favor or opposed?
I'm in favor of letting him build it.
Okay, so you're okay. So it's denied by a majority on that one. Okay, on to our next one. Item number 9 is 124 Windward. Exterior alteration request. And this is to install a Bosch 2.0 heat pump on a 3x3 pad.
I would move to approve with the comment that it needs to put vegetative screening around it.
I'll second.
Okay, so that's unanimous. Let me just make a quick note. That was Rich and Joe Jean. Rich and Joe Jean, that's unanimous with the comment that vegetative screening be installed around the unit. Vegetative screening. around, get it. Okay. That takes care of 124 windward. Let's see, we already did that. Item 12. Item 13 is a duplicate of item 12. So we can disregard that. Item 19 has been scratched on my agenda when I received it, no cover sheet. Item 19, not sure what that was, wasn't in my packet. Did any of you have anything for 18 Granite Circle?
No.
No, neither did I. Okay. Well, that's all of our items.
Oh, wait, you said 24 grant? No, never mind. That's a construction one. We already did that one.
Yeah, it was 18 Granite Circle. It said exterior alteration request, but I didn't have anything in my packet.
Yeah, my item 18 is 24 Granite Circle.
I mean,
so-
item 19, excuse me, item 19, 18
That
Granite
was
Circle.
all it was.
Oh, you have something? Oh, that's all you got?
Yeah,
So we don't know what it is. Okay.
yeah.
All right, so we're gonna adjourn this meeting